and welcome to another episode of Piano TV. So today's topic is articulation, and today what we're going to do is talk a little bit about what articulation is in music and why it's so important to do. And then we're going to rapid fire style go through the 14 different main articulation styles and things you might see in your music along the way. So just to make sure we're speaking the same language, articulation in music are those little funny symbols and stuff you sometimes see on the page, like staccatos and accents and that kind of thing. So articulation in music affects the way you play a note. Be sure to visit the blog post associated with today's video so you can get have everything in one place as a reference if you need it. And of course you can use this video as a reference too. Anyway, let's get started. So to understand what articulation means in music, it's helpful to understand what articulation means in language. So what does it mean to be articulate? Basically, it just means that you're speaking clearly, you're not mumbling, you use proper sentence structure when you speak, and you enunciate properly. And we want to do the same thing with music. Now, obviously, music is completely unique from spoken languages, but it is still a language, and some of the same rules do apply. I mean, you can mumble musically, just like you can mumble verbally. An example of this is if you read all the notes on a page and you play them accurately, but you don't do any of the staccatos and accents and stuff like that, you're effectively not putting any enunciation in there. That's musical mumbling. So make sure you pay attention to all those little markings, because that's what's going to make your music communicate effectively to the listener. So without further ado, let's get right to it. The slur, also known as the swoopy line, means to play smoothly, not choppy. Legato is the exact same thing. Sometimes you won't see a slur marking, but you'll see the word legato, which means to play smooth. Phrases are marked by slurs. They're basically just musical sentences and musical punctuation. So what you gotta do is you gotta create a break in the sound between the slurs to mimic the punctuation. And lastly, the tie, which kind of looks like a slur, it connects two notes together. So what you do is you play the first note, but not the second note. You hold both notes for the combined total of those notes. So you hold it for 1, 2, 3 beats in total. Playing the first one, holding through the second one. So for a staccato, you lift up your fingers quickly. It's like the notes are on fire. It's the opposite of a slur. This is kind of just an exaggerated staccato. You want to keep them choppy, but make them distinct. They look like staccatos, but there's a slur. So is it smooth or choppy? This is a very confusing looking one. But the reality is it's kind of a little bit of both. You play the staccatos more smoothly, but you keep the notes a little bit more separate than a slur. This is a regular old accent. This just means play louder and more forceful than the other notes around it. Forzando means forced. Basically, it's the same thing as an accent. You just play it louder. Marcato is like if an accent and a staccato had a baby. You want to keep it choppy, but louder and with some oomph. There's not just one answer for a tenuto, it's a little bit more complicated, but I like to think of it as long and strong. You hold the note as long for its full note value, and you play it kind of with a little bit of an accent. It's basically the opposite of a staccato. You hold it as long as possible. There are variations on the tenuto, when you have several of them in a row with a slur. This just kind of means that you want to keep them a little detached from each other, but not smooth like a full slur. It's just more deliberate and emphatic. That's basically the same thing, isn't it? This last one, forte piano, is a little bit of a dynamic thing, but I think it kind of fits. FP, forte piano, just means that you're loud on one note and then all the other notes are quiet. And finally, the Framato, which doesn't really fit into any of the other categories. Basically, this just means don't count, stop and pause. This is either in the middle of a song as a dramatic break, or it can be seen at the very end of the song, which means to let the sound trail away into nothingness. And that is all for today's video on articulation in piano music. Hopefully you found this useful, and maybe next time when you see some of these weird symbols, you'll know what to do with them. As I mentioned earlier, all of the, like a list of all the different articulations and images are available on the blog post that corresponds with this video, and you can find that in the description bar below. So be sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. Send it a like if you liked it and all that good stuff. I will catch you guys next time. In today's episode of cat hunting, where is the cat? Is she in the wild? Or is she napping? Hi, Tsunami. Hi, Tsunami. Hi, Tsunami. Hi, Tsunami. Hello? Hello? How are you? You're blurry. I don't know how to make this thing not blurry. Oh, there you go. Yes. What a cat. What a cat.